Today I'm trying to do a half Milano stitch. I heard of this stitch a while back, and it's a good way to prevent edge of a stockinette stitch from curling. So I'm very interested in it, and I found some information, and this is my practice. And we'll start with the ribbing. You will need a ribber. So you need a main bed and a ribber, either in a bulky machine or a standard machine. I'm trying to start with setting up the pitch. I have the pitch on number 3, so it's full pitch, not the half pitch. You can adjust with this handle. If your needles don't align in full pitch, like that, they should clash each other. If it is a little bit off, in the ribber bed, you can adjust here. Check these 2 little screws. You can loosen it and adjust left and right a little bit. This is my brother 260 bulky machine. I'm sure it's a little bit different in the single machine. So I set up the machine with every other needle. I have 14 needles on the ribber bed, and I have 15 needles on the main bed. Again, it's every other needle. So you can see needle, it's like that, every other needle. You can also do the half pitch and do the full needle ribbing, but I'm trying to follow the instruction in the menu for 1x1 ribbing, and either way I'm sure it will work. So for the setting of the carriage, I just follow the standard 1x1 ribbing, and for the setup of the carriage, I just follow the standard 1x1 ribbing. It should be the same in the first part, and I have it set to lowest the tension, so it's either 0 or below 0. And plain knitting, everything go back to plain, normal. And for the ribber, everything is plain, and you set this to the lowest tension, below 0, or there's a star on my brother machine. And this setting I switch to the right side. I think this means a little bit tighter for the first row. I just do it several times to make sure all the needle back to in the correct position. And I have the yarn threaded. I can start the first row. And I'm always starting with a clip. And drop it in between the needle beds. I will have to drop down the ribber bed first. Now we need the first row. Now you can see the zigzag row. Now it's time to hang the cast on comb. There's a little wire. We can take it out, so we hang this one in between the center of the zigzag. I'll have to drop down the ribber bed a little bit. You put the wire back, and we hang some weight, and we'll be ready to do the next step. I will just put 2 small weights hanging on the cast on comb. Now we are going to do the 3 rows of zigzag row, and we turn all the tension back to 0. And we'll do partial knitting in one direction. So for the rebirth, I have the right side goes to partial button, and on the main bed I will have the left side go to the partial. On the main bed, this is the part button, left side and right side. I will have opposite side of the rebirth bed. So I have rebirth bed on the right side, partial knitting. I will use the left side for the main bed. Just press in. That's it. And we will start knitting 3 rows. Now my 3 setup row is finished. So after the 3 rows of the selvage rows, we can move the middle portion back to the main bed. So that middle part will only knit in regular stockinette stitch. For the edge stitches, we will just leave it on the ribber, so it needs like a 1x1 ribbon and create the edge that will not roll. We use the transferring tool and transfer the stitches from the ribber bed to the main bed. And you can decide how many stitches you want on each side for the ribbon. I think I will have at least 3 on the main bed, 3 stitches on the ribber bed on each side. And the rest of the stitch, I will just transfer it. I will just transfer with this double eye needle. And that's what it looks like on the main bed. Now we can set the tension to the main tension. I have very thin yarn on my bulky machine, so I will try number 4 for my tension, and everything else is plain knitting, so cancel the part button. And change the tension of the ribber to slightly bigger than the main bed. So I have 4 on the main bed, I'll have 5, just slightly looser. It depends on the machine. Some machine will be okay with the same tension on both beds. We have one side for partial knitting, so I keep this side partial knitting, this button up. So you will partial knit when it goes to the right side. And set the row counter back to 0, 0, 0, and we can start knitting. Let's see how it looks. That's the first row. You can see every stitch needs. And then the second row. And we just keep going until you get the length you want. Make sure the yarn is in the right tension on the mast. If it gets too tight or too loose, you can adjust that part. As you can see, the edge creates the ribbon stitches, and the middle part is plain knitting, and this side is the ribbon too. And we just keep going. I just realized I have 4 stitches on the rubber bed on this side and 3 stitches on this side, but it doesn't matter. This is just a practice. I have 1 more stitch, so it's more ribbon on this side. After you've done all the knitting, you can transfer the rubber bed stitches to the main bed and bind off any way you want. I'm just going to transfer the needle stitches back to the main bed with the double eye needle. Just pull up, push down, and use the other end of the needle to pull the main bed needle and the hook on it. It takes a little bit practice, but you'll get faster every time. Okay, now all the needles are on the main bed. We can drop down the rubber bed and just use the main bed and change the carriage to the main bed carriage only. Now I'm just going to do a simple loop through loop bind off. So the first thing, I have to change my tension to very loose. I have it on 4. I'm going all the way to 10 and knit 1 row. You can see it creates a very big loop for the last row. You can see my other video for all the bind off methods, bind off and a cast on. So this is what it looks like after bind off. That's the back side, and this is the front side. You can see the ribbon on both edges. And the back side of the middle, you can see the regular stockinette stitch in the back. That's a ribbon. And this is the loop through loop bind off. It's not perfect, but it's okay. And this side is the cast on with the 3 salvage row for the 1x1 ribbon. I think this will be useful for a scarf or blanket, a baby blanket. You can still do the manipulation, hand manipulation in the middle part, like doing the cable or some lace pattern. That's our Half Milano Stitch. I hope you enjoyed this video, and let us know if you have any suggestions for future videos. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll have videos every week. Thank you.